The Unggoy, commonly known as Grunts, are the most misunderstood species in the Halo universe. Their name comes from their lowly status within the Covenant. On the battlefield, they are used as cannon fodder and seen as cowardly and dumb by other species. However, the Unggoy are not the simple creatures they appear to be, repeatedly proving their tenacity throughout their history with the Covenant and on the battlefield during the war with the humans. They have a complicated and sad history which we will dive into in this video that might make you look at them differently. The Unggoy are believed to have evolved from amphibious primates. They breathe methane as opposed to oxygen, so are always seen with a breather mask outside of their home planet, Balaho. Grunts average around 4 to 5 feet tall, with armored bodies and blood that is light blue. Possessing average senses but a stronger sense of smell as noted by their tendency to sniff the air to detect enemies, they are also able to move on all fours but walk bipedally when in combat. Before the first Halo array was activated, the Grunts had achieved a Tier 4 society, but this was already on the verge of collapse due to over-industrialization. The species was indexed by the librarian and returned to their home planet after the firing of the Halo array, at which point they started to rebuild. In 2131, the Covenant discovered the virtually defenseless Unggoy, and using their powerful military forced them into service. Their naturally passive nature and fear of the stronger species within the Covenant kept them in line, and they accepted their lowly roles and statuses quietly. Many Unggoy quickly adopted the Covenant religion and a belief in the Great Journey. There was also a growing rivalry with the Kikyar, commonly known as Jackals, who were also lowly ranked within the Covenant. One of the key aspects of the Unggoy is their notorious ability to breed in large numbers. With litter sizes in the range of 5 to 12, and reaching adulthood in roughly 5 to 8 years, overpopulation was always a serious issue, and restrictions were placed on them during non-war time. They also possessed strong familial ties, and much to their resentment, were often separated from their children in order to serve in the Covenant military. Their high breeding rate also caused the Covenant leaders to force the Jackals off of High Charity to accommodate the expanding number. This caused an increase in mortality among Jackal infants due to the stress placed on the females, fueling the tensions between the two species even further. The Jackals retaliated by poisoning the recreational drugs the Grunts used, which would have sterilized them. This action was ignored by the High Council, who feared upsetting the Jackals further, and ultimately led to the Unggoy Rebellion in 2462. The Grunts proved to be worthy adversaries, but were ultimately defeated when an Arbiter started glassing their home planet, Balaho, and forced them to surrender. The Sanheli, commonly known as elites, adhering to their traditions of honor, allowed the remaining Unggoy who fought bravely to live and integrated them into the military against the protests of the prophets. The Unggoy previously were not allowed to carry weapons and were used purely as cannon fodder. There would be several more uprisings after this, with the Unggoy proving that they are not the cowards that everyone assumes they are, and repeatedly shown throughout history that they were willing to fight back when mistreated. At the outbreak of the Human Covenant War, the Unggoy were one of the first species humanity encountered, present during the first Battle of Harvest, and were an important military asset for the Covenant during the war. Although individually weak, their strong pack mentality allowed them to overcome human forces through sheer numbers, and also showed many signs of resourcefulness throughout the conflict, operating vehicles and machinery for the Covenant. And in actions contradicting their image, would often commit suicide attacks, charging at enemy forces with ignited plasma grenades. Due to their stations, they have also been known to understand different human languages and an interest in human culture as well, selling soap operas and sitcoms on their own black markets. As the war raged on, the Unggoy continued to be on the front lines across major battles. After the Great Schism, they did not side with either the elites or the prophets and their elevated brutes. Instead, they continued following whoever their current commanders were out of fear. After the war with humanity ended, the Grunts were seen allying with various factions, such as Joe Madama's Covenant, the Swords of San Helios, led by the Arbiter, and also in pockets of colonies across various systems. In 2558, the Unggoy on their homeworld allied themselves with Cortana, and they created. With this new alliance, they received advanced resources and technology and started rebuilding their homeworld. This is where the story currently is, awaiting the next Halo game in the series. Hopefully this video provided some knowledge on Grunts you didn't know before, and maybe let a Grunt or two run away the next time you play through a Halo game. So that's it for this video. If you like this content, you can support us by hitting the like and subscribe buttons below, and leave a comment with your thoughts. I do plan on making more videos around all the Halo enemies, and plans for this channel to cover other sci-fi series like StarCraft as well. As always, thank you for your time, and until next time.